Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabansi. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamers Pro Show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a first perspective on things. And we see them in today. We got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you want today's full show before it comes out, it is streaming for free on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have that pinned in the comment section below. I'm dealing with a little bit of cough. Excuse me, because of the weather is cold as hell. Anyway, let me get into this topic here. So yesterday we did a live where we were reacting to some things that were said on ESPN First Take during Shannon Sharpe's visit. You guys are fully aware, Shannon visits Undisputed 2 times a week. So what happened? Shannon Sharpe, this is ESPN First Take 2 times a week. So he goes up there and he brings up an interview, right? Between him and Trevor Ariza. Now, when Trevor Ariza came to Club Shay Shay, he asked him to name his favorite players, or who he thinks is the greatest player of all time, as he does with every NBA-related guest. So, he brought it up, and Trevor Ariza says the following: I think Kobe is the greatest ever. I think he's the best player ever. He then says, I'm going to remove Michael Jordan off the ranking. So, MJ is here, and he's in a class all by himself. And then I'm going to rank the rest of the players. So he said I have Kobe number 1, or to quote him, Kobe 1A, LeBron 1B, right? And then Shannon goes, really? And then Trevor Ariza explains himself. That was the end of that. So then yesterday, I'm going through the internet and I see a clip, being recommended to me on YouTube of Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and I see Michael Jordan, LeBron, or something like this in a thumbnail with Trevor Ariza, and I'm like, what are they talking about? So I tune in to see what they were discussing. And would you believe, Shannon goes on ESPN First Take. He takes the clip of Trevor Ariza on his show. He then goes to First Take. They play the clip, and Shannon and the rest of the panel essentially start clowning Trevor Ariza for his position. And Shannon is up there talking about, I didn't understand what he was talking about, but while he was on the show, he didn't bother to ask for clarification when the man was right in front of him, but instead decided to go to ESPN First Take to do that, to get clicks and views at the expense of his guests. So we actually want to play that audio, but before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. There are more than 70,000 events every single day on SeatGeek, including concerts, sports, festivals, and more. And with the NFL and NBA season in full swing, SeatGeek has your tickets to every game. Now, here's the best part and the reason I absolutely love SeatGeek. They put all the tickets across the web in one place to make sure you are getting a good deal. Each ticket is rated on a scale of 1 to 10, so look for the green dots. Green means good, red means bad. Every ticket is backed by the buyer's guarantee, and SeatGeek is the only site that lets you return your tickets ahead of the event. And we have great news for you because we got you guys a really, really good deal. Use code DREAMERSPRO for $20 off tickets at SeatGeek. That's $20 off your first purchase with promo code DREAMERSPRO. Make sure you click the link in the description to download the app. And remember, when you try SeatGeek by using the link in the description below, just know that you're helping this channel. So what we want to do is, we want to play this clip of Shannon Sharpe, Stephen A. Smith, and Tim Legler discussing Trevor Ariza's comments, and then we're going to come back and continue on the show. Take a listen to this exchange here.
You got Kobe over Mike?
That's just my favorite player.
Right.
But, Mike is in a completely different, he's by himself.
Right.
But if I had to say, Kobe is the best player ever.
LeBron James is the current oldest player in the NBA. Trev, you played,
1B. Kobe 1A. 1B.
What's up?
Well, first of all, I'm confused. Because he said Kobe's the best, but he did say Jordan's in the class by himself.
Right, I was about to say that.
What,
yeah.
So is Kobe in the class by himself, Jordan's in the class by
First of all,
himself?
let's not lose the comedic element of that.
because Shannon, do you see how exasperated Shannon was? Shannon was like this. I invited this brother to be a guest. Right. I appreciate him being on my show, but damn it, what is he talking about?
But for me, Legs, and I think in order for to have the GOAT conversation, I think you have to have criteria. And for me, my criteria is you have to win 3 regular season MVPs and 2 finals MVPs. That's why Kareem, that's why Jordan, that's why Magic, that's why LeBron, when we think of guys like that, that's why we put them in the GOAT conversation. Now, I get it, the flair for the dramatics, Kobe and the shots, but it's just not all about rings. You look at LeBron, a 13-time first-team All-NBA player, a 17-time All-NBA player, about to be a 20-time All-Star game starts. I think when you bring all of it in its totality, that's why I have LeBron. But, people like, okay, it's Jordan. And the guy that really never got any credit was Kareem. Because he had 6 MVPs, 6 championships. He was the all-time leading scorer until Bryant surpassed him. I think a lot of this is like when you play with someone, you have an affinity, you have a sense of loyalty. But for me, I think it's a 2-man race for me. It's Jordan and LeBron, and I'm in Team LeBron's camp.
I think finally, though, I will say this. At least to me, there are 2 guys that belong in the debate. It's LeBron and Michael Jordan, right? It's worthy of the debate. I'm going to be with Jordan. I'm going to, look, and part of it is personal bias. That was you
played the era.
My whole career was the 90s. This dude won 6 titles in the 90s, all right? So, it is a little bit personal because you see
Which one is the real 23, though?
You saw it up close, the one on the left. I appreciate Mike ran that number of times. Honor me, I understand. He came into Washington and he picked 23 because I had just left there. I understand. He wanted to honor me. Right. We understand that. Listen, Mike, appreciate that. No, listen, that's where the debate lies. I'll be honest with you, I don't think I've ever heard another player really or anybody say Kobe.
Right.
Have you?
I have.
Until he just said, but you're right, it made no sense because he said, listen, Mike's in a totally different class, but Kobe Bryant's the best player of all time. I don't understand where those 2 things go together. He disqualified the Kobe statement by where he put MJ. I'm going to ride with Jordan. We know that. I think you're in the same boat I am, but at least it's worthy of the debate now.
Well, listen, we understand. It was a very ignorant statement on the part of Trevor Ariza. Now, let me say this to Trevor Ariza, mad respect for him. 22 years in the NBA. Not many people could say that. And obviously there was a time when he was an elite defensive player. You know that. And so you give him props and you give him his respect. But this is a perfect example of why sometimes when you're asking players about stuff, you can't trust them. You just can't trust them because, the teammate stuff. Kobe is not even the greatest 2 guard of all time. It would be Michael Jordan. He's second to Michael Jordan. Secondly, his style so emulated Michael Jordan that since he came second to MJ in that regard, how could he possibly be the best? So that automatically disqualifies him. When we look at LeBron, even though we compare LeBron to Jordan, 2 different styles of play. You understand? LeBron is more of a playmaker.
More magic.
MJ's an assassin, but LeBron is a 27-point-per-game scorer throughout his career, and you can't ignore that. You can't ignore his greatness, the 4 MVPs, the 4 titles, the 10 trips to the finals, all of these different things. Kobe Bryant, first 3 titles, was with Shaq in his prime, who is arguably the most dominant force that we've ever seen at the big man spot, even though some people would say Wilt Chamberlain. So you look at it from that perspective.
So you heard the exchange there. Now, I'm going to explain what I took issue with. Here's what I took issue with. Number 1, if you felt as if you didn't understand what your guest said, you could have simply asked him to clarify his position. When Shannon did that, Trevor Ariza clarified his position. They moved on. What I thought was grimy was to then take your same guest, a clip from that same guest that came on your show, go to ESPN First Take, and then basically say, I don't understand what Trevor Ariza was talking about. And then you have Tim Legler, him jumping in. And then you have Stephen A. Smith talking about Trevor Ariza's comments were ignorant. And I'm like, why are you doing this at the expense of your guest? If it's me, I would feel a type of way. If somebody invites me to their show, you're asking me a series of questions, I'm giving you my answers, just to turn around and see you on another show, playing clips from our interview talking about, I didn't understand what Charles was talking about. Yeah, he was off. Yeah, some of those comments, other people, yeah, some of those comments were ignorant. I would call up that dude like, yo, what are you doing? What are you doing? What type of weirdo fake, what is this? You had me on your show. If you were confused or you wanted to have a little back and forth on that particular topic, you could have asked me. But to then take my comments, take it to another show, and start talking about me, and I can't defend myself, I thought that would be really, really tacky and grimy. And essentially, that's what I took issue with. That's number two. I have to ask the question: would it have even been a segment had Trevor Ariza said the inverse, which is, I have LeBron number 1A and I have Kobe 1B. Do you think it would have been a conversation on ESPN? I don't believe so. And to me, it makes me feel like they had an issue with Trevor Ariza taking that position. And therefore, they decided to have this segment. That's what I believe. And to me, I think that Kobe Bryant is the no-go guy on ESPN because he's been, he's been chronicled in the past of calling them a bunch of idiots, right? And these are people. They probably took it personal, but he's the one guy that you can't be ranking very, very high on ESPN. You just can't do it. He's the one guy, right? But what happens is whenever you step out of the corporate setting, you now enter into the independent realm. You now start having varying opinions, and you see other NBA players ranking Kobe very, very high in other shows, and then it makes you begin to ask the question, okay, so wait, I'm confused here. You go to Steven Jackson, you go all to Smoke, they got Kobe ranked high. You go to Gil's Arena, they got Kobe ranked high. You go to Paul George's show, they got Kobe ranked high. You go to all of these different podcasts, you go to a lot of independent creators, a lot of them have Kobe Bryant ranked high, but then you go back to ESPN, and all of a sudden they have Kobe Bryant ranked low, and you're like, okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Almost every single time I've heard Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes question a guest on rank these three players, Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, I've heard a lot of guys say Jordan, Kobe, LeBron. I've heard that a lot. I've also heard of the inverse, maybe Jordan, LeBron, Kobe. But the fact of the matter is these guys believe that these guys, at least Kobe, Jordan, LeBron, all top 5 players, in some cases top 3 players. But whenever you get to ESPN, it's a totally different matter. And I believe that if Trevor Ariza gave Shannon Sharpe the answer he wanted, it wouldn't have been a segment. This is just my personal view, and I thought that was grimy. If you invite me to your show and you disagree with what I say, please ask me on the show. Don't go produce another show or go on another show with our clip and talk about, I didn't understand what Charles. That's fake sucker, you know what. And I can't abide by that. There's no integrity in that, to me. It makes it look like as if you're just using me for views. And I think that's tacky. And I'm not coming off of that position. That's what I think. Some people loved it. I didn't. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show. Peace.